So if you're here from the Jeremy Lin video that I just recently did, the triple P that I just recently did on Jeremy Lin, in the video I mentioned a couple times how I was going to talk about I feel like there's something off about this anti-Asian American discrimination bill that they have out there right now. Like, I was just reading some things even before I did the Jeremy Lin video, because when I was looking up a picture to use for the triple P for him, this actually came up. So it was almost like the universe was trying to tell me something. And I came across this article, and it says House passes resolution condemning hate crimes against Asian Americans. I'm gonna go ahead and read the article and then trying to tell you in pieces what just sounds off to me about this. It says, taking a stand against hate, lawmakers on Monday debated House Resolution 275. The measure before the House Rules Committee condemns the mass shootings in Atlanta area spas in March, in which 8 people were killed, 6 of whom were Asian women. Now, this shooting, as we all know, occurred at the hands of a white man. But you have people like that Ying Ma and that Juju Chang and the Michelle Malkin that will swear that black on Asian violence is like at the tippy top of the reason as to why Asians are discriminated against. Yet this guy committed a mass shooting that could have been seen as domestic terrorism because he went to multiple locations when he did it. The resolution reaffirms the House's commitment to combating hate, bigotry, and violence against the Asian American and Pacific Islander community. Anti-Asian hate crimes reported to police in 16 of America's largest cities and counties rose 164% in the first quarter of 2021, Representative Mark DeSaunier, Democrat of California. The House of Representatives should clearly state our condemnation of the heinous and inexcusable acts of gun violence that led to the tragic loss of lives on March 16th. So see, they're stemming it off of that, heavily off of that, but they keep lumping us in there as if we did it. The resolution passed on Monday, and it's crazy. Speaking of, it just dawned on me. They rarely or ever talk about that shooting anymore. This is my first time hearing them talk about this since it happened. But they'll bring up and keep mentioning about what's going on with black people attacking them, quote unquote. The resolution passed on Monday by a 9-4 vote. Committee Republicans agreed that the Atlanta shootings were horrific, but they argued that since the criminal trial has not taken place yet, an exact motivation has not been conclusively proven. There is evidence to the effect that these murders, and they are grotesque, but were motivated by something other than race, said Representative Patrick Fallon of Texas. And while all illegal violence should be roundly condemned, it is inappropriate for the House of Representatives to opine on the facts of an individual case when those facts will be decided by an impaneled jury, and that jury will hear all the evidence. Basically saying, don't jump the gun and say it was because of this, and it turns out it wasn't. Because some could say it could be this guy had an incel problem. They could have said it was an incel thing. Now, the optics point to it could have been a hate thing because he attacked parlors where all of the employees or the people that worked there that he attacked were Asian. But I think one of the victims was not Asian, if I'm not mistaken. I'm getting my shootings mixed up. I think one of them wasn't. I think one of them was a guy. I think one of the victims was a guy, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can correct me down in the comments. And he wasn't even Asian, might I add. Fulton County, Georgia prosecutor Fannie Willis filed notice last week that she'll seek hate crime charges in the death penalty against the suspect Robert Aaron Long, age 22. The Senate last week passed with a wide bipartisan majority a bill denouncing discrimination against Asian communities in the United States. The vote was 94-1. The lone vote in opposition was from Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out that I did not see in this article that I saw in another article was that they are passing, the name of the bill is the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act in response to the rise in violence against Asian Americans during the pandemic. Now, I'm confused. Is it attacking them because of because of the pandemic and where it started at, or is it attacks because they're Asian? That's the part that's confusing me. Now, let me say that again. Are they being attacked because they're being blamed for what happened in Wuhan over a year ago that went global? Or are they being attacked just because they're Asian and has nothing to do with that? That's the part that is like the disconnect for me. And I hope I'm not confusing anybody here, because they keep saying, they're calling it the COVID-19. Y'all, it's not COVID-19, but y'all know what I mean. They call it the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. Attacks in response to the virus. But the way that a lot of them are framing this, these people are not being attacked because of that. Sometimes we don't even know why they're being attacked, but they're putting it out there that it's because of that, when it's probably something else. And like I said, they're quickly going with that. And the thing is, like I said, they keep saying that, you know, with people, when they get attacked and everything like that, it's because they're Asian. How do you know that? Meanwhile, black people get attacked all the time, and when they got to do a study, look through some books, do some chemical trials and errors to determine if it's going to be a hate crime. And a lot of times they determine that it is not. You just had that Andrew Womble declare that those terrorists that killed Andrew Brown Jr. in that ambush was justifiable. But I bet you if Andrew Brown Jr. was an Asian man, they would not have declared it justifiable. Meanwhile, you just had an Asian man who just got caught after being missing for going on a 2.5 month long manhunt after he killed another Asian man up in, I forgot what state it was. Y'all know I just recently did the video on it. They just caught him. Where are they talking about that? See, here's the thing. And then also you just had the Asian woman who murdered her children with that meat cleaver in Arizona and tried to kill her husband. That's in the news. How long it stays in the news, we don't know. But see, they're not gonna look at that. They're gonna literally stick to this. This is what they've wanted. And like I said, it took them such a short amount of time to get it. Only a year. Only a year. Because 45 called them some names. We've been called worse. I don't think our community is responsible for a global pandemic, but we've been called worse. Worse has happened to us just in this establishment, and still is. All it took was for 1 year, a global pandemic, a few words to be thrown, and boom, bill, right on the books. And they're passing with flying colors. Like, they're passing this bill very, very, very fast. I truly believe there's something else going on in the background that we don't know about, that they don't want us to see. It's something else going on. I think they're painting the Asian American community to be a new buffer class, if they aren't one already. Remember, they don't call them the model minority for nothing. But yeah, something about this bill just seems kind of shaky to me. Like, you call it that, but it's supposed to be against them, calling you different, anything related to WOVID. But they're going to use that, and they're going to bastardize the hell out of this bill. That's why I said in my Jeremy Lin video, they're going to run this thing into the ground, and then no one's going to take them seriously. But you know what? I can help them out with that. Like I said in my Rage video, I just won't support your content, your businesses, or none of that. That way I can remove myself from any conflict. There. That makes it easier. I remove myself from any potential conflict, and there's not an issue. And you can't blame me. I mean, you can try, but you'll look stupid. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.